Educators want access to about $600 million in one of the state's savings accounts, but they can't do that without your approval. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
The state has created numerous rainy day funds, and now the legislature wants to change the state constitution to access one of the funds for education purposes.
It's known as Measure 2, and Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop talks to supporters and the opposition about what your vote means.
Measure 2 makes sure that we can access the funds that we need for education for our kids.
You may have seen this commercial.
All we're asking to do is allow the legislature to adequately fund K-12 education in the state by having access to the $600 million that's in this account.
The State Aid Stabilization Fund was created in the early 90s to help schools after cuts in the 80s. It can only be accessed when budget cuts are made to the general fund and has been accessed twice in its history. The latest this last session.
The money just stays put, and it's not being used for the purpose it was intended to by the voters of North Dakota back in 1994.
The interest from this account goes into the state general fund. So it's a savings account. It's working the way it should.
One reason why opponents are against the measure is because they say it's vague.
It's not specific to K through 12 education. It could be used for higher education. It could be used to fund the teachers' fund for retirement or anything loosely related to education.
Martinson says a vote yes would be allowing a raid to the fund.
We live in an economy that's unpredictable, and school boards have to think 5, 10, and 20 years out, and we want this savings account to be there in the long term, not just for the next 2 years.
Said it's a raid, or the legislature will just be uncontrollable like kids in a candy store. That's not what's going to happen here. The language of Measure 2 states that only a certain percentage of it can be used.
According to the measure, the legislature must not drain the fund below 15%. Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
Money in the fund comes from taxes on oil extraction. We have broken down all the North Dakota ballot measures for you. To learn more about the other 4, visit valleynewslive.com.
At a time when supporters of Measure 2 are focusing on oil extraction taxes, oil prices are taking a hit. U.S. oil prices fell $1.33 today to $45.34 a barrel. The drop happened after word of a 34-year record for oil supplies. North Dakota's oil market has struggled over the last year due to large amounts of oil on the world market.